Today we start the evening with a very important topic of, I guess, most of us, because how many of how many of them, be it a man or a woman, are doing jobs that are actually relevant to their career aspirations, right? And how many of them are into a job forcefully. Maybe their parents have chosen a particular career or a line for them and they are into that job. They're not, their aspiration is something else, but some external force or something is making them work or do some other job, right? So we are going to discuss on the same topic, which is managing a career and a job. And we have another set of wonderful speakers with us. And I'll introduce them to all of you. We have Padmaja Penmetsa. She's an MBA HR and MBA strategic, MA in strategic HR, MSc in psychology, a certified NLP trainer, certified mind dynamics coach, a certified Access Conscious Bars practitioner, and a certified pranic healer. Padmaja has worked on different levels, different strategies, and different age groups, depending upon the client's needs and perspectives. Her strength is strategy planning. She believes success is not about outsourcing others, but pushing our own limits and advancing towards our goals. She coaches those who want to walk that extra mile to give their full potential. Welcome, Padmaja.
Thank you, Niharika. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you. And the next we have is Seema Mehta Roy, a discovery coach, a certified Neo Way coach, an ICF life and performance coach, NLP master practitioner, a yoga teacher, Lumina practitioner, and ultra marathoner and a trekker. Right, and she will be joining in some time. So she loves to discover. Hey, hi.
Hi.
Yeah, she's here. So she loves to work with the women who want to discover and transform their lives. And her guiding principle is the belief that our inner world creates our outer world. Welcome, Seema. Next we have is Shailaja. Shailaja is an entrepreneurial coach with over 12 years of experience with her own institute in Mumbai, where she trains professionals and women entrepreneurs. She was nominated by Paytm under Women Entrepreneurs. She was recently facilitated by a women forum called LAJA, L-A-J-A. That's wonderful. Hello, Shailaja. Welcome.
Hi. Hi, Niharika. Hello,
Hi.
everyone.
Next, we have is Deepti, an MBA from Symbiosis Institute of Business Management, Bangalore, and Masters in Social Work from University of Mysore. She holds over 10 plus years of experience in HR, mainly recruitment and training. She's a head HR and business at Apply.ai. Welcome, Deepti.
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. And next we have is Vinal Castellino. Vinal is an image consultant and personal branding coach. She's an alumni of Image Consulting Business Institute and an MBA by qualification. She's a founder of Vinal Castellino Image and Brand Studio based in Bangalore, which focuses on both personal as well as corporate branding. Welcome, Vinal.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And next we have is Varsha Subhash, an emotional intelligence coach and a transformational catalyst from Chennai, a BTech in computer science and a PGDBA in HR with over 12 plus years experience, a certified counselor on neuroscience-based tool on brain profiling, certified emotional intelligence practitioner from Genos University, Australia, She believes to empower people to accelerate through transformation and attract more happiness in all dimensions of life. Welcome, Varsha.
Thank you, Niharika, and good evening to everyone. Looking forward to this.
Thank you. Wonderful to have you all here. So yes, get up for the questions, and we are get up for discussing with you as well. All right. So my first question is to Padmaja. Padmaja, how did you evolve from a chief people officer, which is a corporate kind of a job, to a joypreneur, which you are right now?
Okay. First of all, thank you, Niharika, for having us here. And Sainath, in bits and pieces from morning, I've been in and out, and I've been listening to you. You're being very pragmatic and very straight in your approach. And absolutely, I agree with most of the points. In fact, I can say all of the points that you've been saying. Not just you, but everybody. I'm sure, you know, this is such a wonderful platform where we are all bringing in different perspectives and the experience, but somehow I feel that we are all walking towards the same goal. And that's what I felt, you know, was beautiful, like, you know, how you guys are actually putting it together. So really honored to be a part of this. Now coming to my journey, how did I evolve from CPO to a joypreneur? Niharika, I should say that that's the right way that you put, because I evolved into it. It's not something which I had planned, and it's definitely not something which I knew, because joypreneur was a word that even I didn't know. Okay. So I would definitely want to share, you know, how it all happened, because when they say that it's all within you, you have all the answers. You know, we must have heard of it, we must have read about it somewhere and everything. But knowing it at a knowledge and an information level is different, and knowing it experientially is very different. And I think the moment when I started experiencing it, that's when a lot of things started changing. You know, a lot of shifts started happening within me. And when that happened, everything around me started realigning itself. So I experienced it at a very core level. And when it started putting a lot of things into perspective, the choices that I started making, or the way I started looking at life, actually changed. Because, you know, your question defines something very intrinsically. It's like a job is different and a career is different. Your job can definitely be your career also, but then, you know, for a lot of us, that's not the case. We might have picked up a job for any reason, but a career is something which can happen only when there is that true passion towards it. So when, you know, the ultimate point in whatever that I felt was, when you are clear of the reasons, when you're clear of the reason as to why you're doing something, be it a job or a career, that's when things will start falling in place in the way that you would want. Because every morning, you know, we have to get up and start pushing ourselves to get to a place that we want to. We like it, we don't like it, that's a process that we all get into. So how much of it is, you know, that we enjoy is what determines the quality of the day that we spend. So when I was working with an organization as the chief people officer, I was heading all the people management issues. Everything starting from the HR to marketing to branding to operations. I was doing a lot of things, because what makes an organization? It's the people. So when I started involving the people, I was there into literally everything. So my job was a very 24/7 kind of a role. Even before I took up this role, I was into training. I was doing my own workshops and everything. But I did not know a particular way or a profession, or, you know, the entrepreneurship that I'm doing today. Maybe 10 years ago, I was not there. Genuinely, my heart went out to training, but then I did not know how to even structure it. So at the time of taking up this particular job, I had a discussion with the management saying that, listen, I am interested. So I keep freelancing once in a while. So though I'm in this job, I would want to continue it. And they were all okay with it. So they said, it's up to you. You know, we have no issues and everything. But a job being a job, you know, it was a 24/7 thing. There was not a single time when I could actually go out and do something which I really wanted to. So there was this conflict that, okay, I am getting operationally stuck, but there is something much beyond this that I want to do. So at that point is when I started looking at it a little differently, where I started understanding what is it that I truly wanted. I wanted to work more with people and see how they all evolve as people. I mean, that's my interest point. So even as a joypreneur, what I do is I help people in unpacking their own behaviors, their own thought process, their own emotions. So it so happened that one day I was just thinking and I was like, okay, when it's the same thing, why do I have to have a label of a business? Why can't I do the same thing wherever I'm sitting? Because I am working with people. So that's when I started bringing in my learning, my, I can say research or experimenting. And I started looking at the ground of my work to be something beyond where I can try and test whatever I'd been working for myself. So every day that I went into, I started being a little more than the CPO, a little more than somebody who was operationally responsible for a lot of things. I started connecting much deeper with people around. I started observing how people functioned, how people behaved in different situations. You know, the thought processes, you know, it was just like a movie in front of me. So I started detaching myself from the role and actually putting on a bigger hat to see it much more deeper. And that's when I started unpacking every situation. I started seeing, I mean, we all know there are different kinds of people, but what kind of drives them is something that we don't give too much of thought to, because everybody, we're all busy in our daily lives. So somewhere I started blurring out lines. Did somebody call out? Am I clear?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
So that's when I started understanding, you know, why not blur out these lines and see and do it at a much deeper level. So though it was a job that I was holding, I started understanding people much deeper. So though it's a person who is extremely productive, or if it's a person who has been somebody who's involved in a lot of gossip or whatever, any kind of a person or a situation, I started dissecting it. And I went down to the deepest level. And what I saw there was something which fascinated me very much. Underlying everybody's behavior, I saw that everybody is looking to be happy. At the end of the day, what everybody wants is just to be happy. So functionally, however people might behave, but the underlying factor was that that is their happiness. And the reason why they do functionally things different is because they do not know why they are even behaving in such a way, because they do not know how to get to that happiness point. So a lot of people use positive things. There are people who use negative things also. And that's when I started researching more, you know, experientially started observing things around me, where I wanted to understand what was this happiness which is making people function differently yet looking for it. I mean, it was too much of it might sound crazy, it might sound madness as to whatever path I took and however I was doing it, but it worked. Because what I felt was the underlying factor that we miss is that the pursuit of happiness is a never ending one. Today, whatever is happiness to me, tomorrow it might be something else. And that is when I started understanding that there is a difference between being happy and being joyful. Because when we are happy, we'll want to celebrate, we want to tell everybody, you know, we want to show that we are happy. But a person who is truly joyful will just be silent, you know. They're okay even if people see that they're joyful or not. They're okay even if nobody even notices it. And I saw that the major difference which is happening between people who are grounded and who are not grounded, or who work differently, there was the slight difference. But again, is everybody doing it consciously? No, none of them is doing it very consciously. It is, see, we are all nothing but products of our own past, products of our own experience, and in fact maybe products of our own perspectives. And a person who is able to kind of peel the layers and get into the deeper levels is somebody who is learning it on their own. Somebody will learn if they're taught, or somebody opens it up to them, or whatever it is. But at a core level, everybody is looking to be happy. And maybe that's what gave me a direction to start working on things in a much deeper way. Now I got to this point, but how do you apply it, or how do you bring in people from different walks? Now, when we are working in an organization, there are people starting from the senior management to the blue collar workers. And I was a kind of a person who started connecting to everybody, I can say, at the same level. Maybe that's the reason I worked, or I can say that even till today, though I've quit my job or anything, the way they're still connected, the way they're still getting back to me for anything, or I feel so welcome there, is because what I was doing was something beyond my job. Now, had I been sitting down and thinking that, oh my God, I'm only doing a job, but I'm not getting time to build my career, this might not have happened at all. Because career is something that you're passionate about, fine. Maybe in my situation, the job and career somewhere went hand in hand, but a lot of us might not be able to do that.
Yes.
But again, now suppose we'll take a very simple example. Suppose you want to be a painter. Suppose you love drawing, you love painting, and you really want to be such a big painter. But your job is so busy that you do not have time to do that. The problem with us humans usually is that we look for an ideal situation. We look for an ideal time for us to start. We look for a lot of us, oh, if I had a week's time, or if I had a month off, or a 6-month off, I just want to take vacation and I want to paint. As much as we would all love that, reality is definitely different. So rather than waiting for that ideal time to happen, how about spending 10 minutes at least a day just to give a stroke? So many 10 minutes or so many half an hours through the week, you can actually have a painting at the end of the week. Yes. And only when we start doing it in bits and pieces is when there is a chance for us even to be confident that, yes, I can paint. Because if we keep waiting for that 1 month or 6 months to even start to learn painting, where is the balance? We do not know if we are good at it or not. We might be, but we do not know, because being passionate about a business will not get us success. Once we say it is a business, there is a business acumen which comes into it also. I was listening to a lot of you when you were talking about marketing. I cannot agree more than that. You have literally hit it on the right point, because today, whatever we do, marketing is the major thing, or rather, I would even call it smarketing. People are getting so smart. In fact, I was also here listening to all of you when you were talking about the youngsters who are coming out. In fact, they don't even have a product. They don't even have a path or anything. But they are so consistently doing what they love that they're creating a path for themselves. True. Now, they are not starting saying that, I have a career in my mind. But whatever that they're doing, they are doing it so deep and so consistently. And aren't they failing? Of course they're failing. Aren't they doing mistakes? Of course they're doing mistakes. In fact, I even heard Mr. Sainath saying that mistakes, the failures are definitely something which are holding us back. But why not
Yeah.
change that perspective a little and see that failure is just my feedback? It's not a failure. And I think the West, the US that you were all talking about, that's what they're doing. If this has not worked, fine, I will do something else. But how do I get to my goal? And that's exactly what the youngsters are doing now. And what were we taught? That you need to be 100% sure of what you're doing and only then take a step. And as I said, we are products of our own past, and that is what we have learned.
Mm.
And that is what we're trying to replicate. But a new world needs a new methodology. And that is nothing but experiment. We might think that, something is my goal and I would want to make a career out of it. But if you truly start doing, starting at any point and doing it in bits and pieces, you might even change your direction. What you wanted might actually not be what you wanted also.
Mm. Mm.
Try and test that. We do not have time to wait till the end of my job timeline so that I can start my career timeline. It can't happen. So how to take it hand in hand? How much can you experiment? And when I say experiment, it doesn't need all your time or all your effort, just that little time, but of course it needs consistency.
Consistency.
And can I integrate, can I bring in what I love to the place that I work? Of course there are hundreds of CPOs sitting there. Did I do anything different? Maybe I went a little mile extra and did not look at it as a job. But if I may tell you today, I looked at that as my business. I looked at that as my own company. Now, if it was my company, how would I run it? And that's exactly what I did. I owned it up. When you start owning up what you do, what you love will search for you. I mean, that's something which I've seen out of experience. And as I said, joypreneur, who knows it? I mean, I don't know what joypreneur was. But again, I was thinking, because when I started getting into all these depths, what I felt was, am I being a regular trainer? Maybe I was doing a little bit more digging work into that, because wherever I start, I bring it to the aspect of self. Because unless you know yourself, I don't think, nobody else will know you, because what happens is, how you see yourself is how the world is going to see you. As much as we all know it, how much of us are actually experiencing it day in and day out? How much of us are actually living by it? So when I started experimenting all these things, the only thing which came up was, okay, fine, let me do what I want in the way that I want to. So when somebody who is passionate, or somebody who is, kind of nurturing an enterprise, if they can be called an entrepreneur, if I want to nurture the joy in people, why cannot I be called joypreneur? That's how it came. And it
Okay.
was it was just a very crazy thing. And I put it, I said, fine, it's okay. Because again, in fact, I heard in one of the discussions here also, degrees are there, but how much of it is actually relevant to today's world? So when you have the skill, when you have the passion for it, create whatever you want. And when you believe in it completely, anybody else will believe in you. Because how much ever you're working in a job, if you start thinking that, oh, I am in this job because of my parents, because of my spouse, because of my situation, we will just remain there. If we can start looking at it as to, okay, fine, I am here because, how much ever we worry, is there a way that we can step out of it? No, because had we had a way to step out of it, we wouldn't be sitting and cribbing there. So as much as we can accept the reality as it is, and the sooner we do, I think we will have better time to look at what we want to do. and how to integrate, what you want to do and what you still need to do, you will find a balance point somewhere in between. Is it defined? Definitely it will not be defined. You
Yes.
have to be the creator, and you have to take it ahead, and you need to risk it. And you know what? Staying in a job and risking it is much better than quitting your job and then risking it. If there are mistakes that you can do, if there's learning that you can do I'm sorry to say, but at somebody else's expense, do it. It's an opportunity that you have, because you have something secure in your hand also, as well there. So go ahead, experiment, fail, redo it again, and then, get back to what you actually want to do. And all of this can happen when you truly know yourself. Why do you want to do a business? Why do you want to get into a career as such? Is it because somebody else is doing it? Is it because, when I ask this question, a lot of us think that we are working for money. But what I've realized is money can never be your end goal. Now, will you be happy if I give you stacks of money? And because, you're not going to eat money, you're not going to do anything with that money. Money is just a means for us to buy what we want. So we all want to be successful, not to be rich, but to have the quality of life that this money can give us. So there's a lot of difference, because a lot of people think that they're working for money. You're not working for money. If you're actually in a job and still wanting to build a career, you're working not to make money to be secure here. You're actually working to build that security so that you can step into a career. If we can understand that, money is not our end goal, but just a means, the way we look at money is different. Again, at this point, I again agree with Mr. Sainath, because we are taught that being service oriented is a noble thing in our in our society. Indians as such, we are taught that. We are taught that, if there is money, it's always noble to give away. It's not noble to ask for money. And that's a guilt that we are fed in. So a lot of us look at money as emotion. But if we understand why we are making that and what our end goal is, then the end goal will become more important than what we are making now. The way we function will definitely improve. The way we function will definitely change based on the perspective that we hold. Hope I'm making sense.
Oh, yes, definitely. What points? Oh my God.
Yeah. So, had I thought of setting up a business linearly, like, okay, fine, I finished my studies, okay, fine, I'm working, now I want to set up my business, I might not have been able to look at it from a perspective that I'm doing it now. When I was supposed to do something, when I needed to do something, the way I owned it up opened up different avenues for me. So at that point, when I felt that, okay, it is the joy that everybody is looking for, but they're not knowing how to get there. A person, I can say, who's even indulging in office politics or, in gossiping, they're actually finding joy there, but they're not knowing that there are better ways to do it.
Yeah.
So that is when I started working with people. I started unpacking people to such an extent that today, I can proudly say that, yes, there is a change. There is a change. So if that is when I felt, it was empowering me more than what I could hold myself as. And somehow I came to a point that this is my purpose of life. And when I kept that to be the long term, or the bigger perspective than what I'm doing on a day in and a day out functionality, any problem which came didn't look like a problem, but it looked like a challenge to get to the next level. So I want to, bring in all the problems so soon so that I can finish off learning all these things. Because every problem comes only because to find a solution, you have to go a step higher. And that is when you go a step deeper. And that's a wonderful opportunity to actually learn, to actually evolve.
Yes.
And as I said, I did not plan my career. My career evolved out of it. And it kind of, brought in such joy to myself that, as I said, I've made this my purpose. And again, money is not something which is driving me here. Will I not make money? Of course I will make money. Will I do it free of cost or, at a very lower price? No, I will not, because I believe in the quality. And again, what do I do when people cannot pay up for it? All that I tell them is, this is the value of it. You pay whatever you feel you're comfortable with. I'm okay with it. But I'm not going to devalue myself. You know what happens at this point? People come back to you. People, you know, they feel so empowered. They come back to you. Even if they're not able to pay you now, they will, they value you and they take you forward. So when you have the whole community owning you up and literally working for you, literally they are taking me. I do not move out of my room, if I can tell you. I do not market, but it's happening. Because somewhere I felt, you know, another interesting story is like, if I have to tell you how I picked the name of my company, because I didn't know what I would call this. Okay, fine, I'll call myself a joypreneur, but what would I call my company? So one evening, my friends, we were all sitting together. They asked me, tell us in one word, what is it that you do? I said, I help people in aligning themselves. And that's when Align Joy came together. And so, as I said, it happened very organically because I was not planning for it, but I was very clear with what I wanted to do. I wanted to help people. Why I wanted to help people? Maybe I did not have somebody to guide me when I was making those few choices in my life. Maybe I did not have somebody standing up for me when I was growing, or when I was going through a lot in my life. And did I look at it as an issue? Of course, yes. There were days when I used to sit and cry as to why people are like this, why things are like this, and all of it. But what hurt me was something I learned out of. And that's how I started building. So every opportunity, every learning, I started putting them together. And if I look back, I can see that everything had a reason. Or I could also say that my way of looking at it made me realize that there was a reason. Now, had my perspective been different, maybe, how I would deal with it would be different or anything. But one bad habit that I always had was I always wanted to see what is at the end of the tunnel. I was hell bent on seeing what is at the end of the tunnel. So that kind of gave me the strength, the resilience, or whatever it is to hold on. So the reason why I chose this as a profession is because what I didn't have, if I could be for somebody, that felt very personal to me. So when you choose a profession, if you have a clarity as to why you're choosing it, you need not plan or try to grow it. It will grow you. So moving from doing to just being is something which will actually work. But the most difficult point is keeping it simple is the most difficult thing.
Yes.
That is where we tend to make a mistake. Now, to keep it simple, to just be, we need to develop a lot of patience. And believe me, as a person, I was the most impatient. And very impatient, very impatient. So that's why I tell people, if I could do something, believe me, anybody in the world can do it. Anybody in the world. So that's how I started building through it. and got into, and in fact, as you rightly said, evolved into being a joypreneur. And today, do people understand? Of course, people understand. Do people accept the word joypreneur? Of course, everybody loves
They
the
do
word.
accept.
Yeah, they love it. In fact, I get inquiries only to understand what this joypreneur is. And when they understand what I do, they're like, please come and do this for us.
Great, great.
If you see here, the reason why this happens is because, as I said, at a core level, we are all the same. We are all looking for that joy. But functionally, we might do 100 things, we might say 100 things. So if we can understand what is true to our core, if we can align to that, life will just happen. Passion, career, anything will just happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very wonderful point. I mean, it's like an inspirational journey, I would say.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.